Yes.
You made a remarkable statement about when you showed us the budget graphs. The tipping point is out there, but we probably won't reach it. What is the basis of that statement?
So high budget deficit, high budget deficit, high budget deficit. Tipping point is out there, but probably we will not reach it, at least according to most economists, and I may be in that category where I believe that a tipping point situation is a small probability event. If it was to occur, it will be highly impactful. So, but it's a small probability, but if it was to occur, highly impactful negatively. Why do I view that? What makes me believe, or most economists believe, that things will be sustainable, manageable budget deficit over time and not a tipping point? I believe that it's a small probability event, but I don't have a large confidence to say it's a small probability event. One just has to trust. One has to trust that through information sharing, that right things needs to be done. Budget deficit needs to come down in one way or another. Economic growth certainly helps. Tax revenue automatically rises from that. Reduction in government spending. I would say most economists would say, if you want to balance the budget, what's the right proportion? Most economists would say 3/4 government spending cut, 1/4 tax revenue increase to fill the gap. So it's not evenly cut in tax rates. Most economists would say something like 3/4 cut, 1/4 increase. I will share with you, and I cannot name where I had this discussion because I think it was done in private, even though it was not said in private, is that one of the large source of budget deficit, at least for the long-term horizon, particularly 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, is the entitlement programs of the Social Security medical care, and that is going huge. My own preference on fixing that is how they fixed the Social Security back in 1980s when people said Social Security is running out of money. What do? They just say, well, let's raise the payroll tax for future workers and let's reduce benefit for future retirees, not the current, so that there's no transition disrupted. Just by making those changes, it solved the Social Security problem for another 40 years. I think similarly, if they were to say that let's raise the retirement age for out years, so people who are currently in their teens. So when you retire, you will get your Social Security check not when you are 67, but you will get it when you are 69 or something like that. That greatly improves the future situation very quickly. But the private conversation part is this. Sometimes the nature of politics says that things cannot get done. And people are actually wanting a crisis to occur. And only from crisis, one can make changes, put changes So I hope it's not a case where policymakers, both parties are somehow waiting for a crisis to occur, and somehow they believe that once the crisis occurs, the American public will be on their side so they can make the implementation what they want to implement. But that could be part of some of the political thinking to say, okay, there is a tipping point, let the tipping point occur, crisis occur. From that, we believe the American public will be on our side and we will implement what we need to.
Equal opportunity for you. Yes. So much of economic thought is based on unemployment figures. And like a foreclosure shadow inventory, I think there's a shadow on unemployment that's never counted. And I would say the self-employed who pay self-employment taxes and benefits, they're not allowed to participate in the unemployment benefits, and therefore are accounted. And I would say there's quite a few realtors in that. Okay. And nationally, the self-employed, traditionally, I funds here going through their savings, etc. And really don't seem to be in the scheme of things for economic recovery through our current.
Yeah, very valid question. Official unemployment rate is currently 9%. It mysteriously dropped from 9.4% to 9%. But trust me, it's all government economists who are looking at the data, and according to what the data they see, this is how unemployment rate is computed, 9%. The question is, no, it's not 9%, it could be twice as high. There are many people who are not working, but, or I should say, in the case of realtors, where people are very busy working hard, but the commission checks are not coming in. The short sales frustration, appraisal problems, so you work to death, and then one is not getting the income compensation for working. There is the official unemployment rate, which is always defined in a consistent manner, which is to say they take a survey of people and say, do you have a job? And it's a large sample. And based on that, they compute who has a job, who doesn't, and compute unemployment rate. But there is the shadow unemployment, which is to say that there are people who are underemployed. So they may be working at Burger King, but this is not what they want to do. But they're counted as being employed. And there are also people who lost their job, and they never thought about going back to school, and they don't really want to go back to school if there is a job out there, but they're forced to go to school in a sense because now they are idle and they're paying the tuition. But the student, adult student, is not counted as unemployed because the person is a student. But that underemployment situation is also, they try to also compute that, and is trying to compute consistently, and usually it's a double the normal unemployment rate. So under normal times, you have 5% unemployment rate, 5% will be another additional underemployed or shadow unemployed. Right now, unemployment rate is 9%, there's probably additional 9% in that category.
Dr. Young, on behalf of the PDI membership, I want to express very sincere appreciation for coming to Colorado Springs and for a great presentation.